Okay, so now we are officially recording. For those of you, I apologize, I forgot to record. The only thing that you have missed is approval of minutes, and Miss Calvert gave us some much appreciation from the teachers. So now moving on, I also mentioned our treasurer, Rachel Cantillon, couldn't be with us today. But all of the financial information can be found on the PTO website. She updates that on a monthly basis, and there's information as to how to locate that. Okay, so now that we are officially recording, again, for those of you who don't wish to be recorded, just turn your video off, but we still want you to participate. All right, moving along, corresponding secretary is Lauren Blanks. Miss Lauren.
Yes. If you go to the PTO website, you should be able to see most things. There are certain forms or things to purchase where you would need to create an account. Another positive to creating an account is you get put on our newsletter list. And so I've been working on a draft of just like February updates, but I can only send it to people that have created an account. So if you want to stay in the loop, come to the website, make sure you've got your account, and then we will be sending out any information. We've got some different things coming up, some nominations for positions next year, those kinds of things. So we may be sending out more information to get ready for next year. So just make sure that you are visiting there and you have your account set up. That's it.
Yay, thank you. Yeah, anything you need to know PTO related, definitely hit up our website. Awesome. Okay, moving on to committee reports. Yearbook, that is Mariko Braley. Miss Mariko, are you?
I'm here. I'm
Yay!
just got my zoo around me right now, so I'll keep it short. I don't have much to add other than what's written there, and just want to encourage teachers and parents to keep adding pictures. And we've already met our revenue, so we're in good shape. And already half the yearbook has been submitted, so we're doing well.
Yay, that's awesome. Yeah, for those of you on the agenda, and again, agendas and minutes are always posted as well on the PTO website. Again, yearbook info can be found as well on the PTO website. It may have kicked me out. There we go. So everything is on here for yearbook, anything you need to know, dates, all that good stuff. And one of the really cute things that I want to point out that Mariko is doing is she is doing a thing called COVID Chronicles for the yearbook. And again, you can find that link on the website. But it's a place for the kids to answer some questions. They can also submit some pictures. But another cool thing is if you have a student, or if you are a parent, or your student's parent is a first responder, then we would love to have just some information from your student about how they're appreciating you, and how they, we can thank you for your work. So anyway, check that out. It's super cute. Awesome. Okay. Moving on to teacher and staff appreciation. That is also
that's me again. Okay, well, we had the wrong date for Counselor Appreciation Week, unfortunately. So we will be doing it this upcoming week. We're just calling it Miss Simpson Bell Appreciation Week. And so we just have, it's hard with it being COVID, so we've kept it simple, like ask the kids to wear bright colors one day. Let's see, I don't have the thing up right now. I think I had like smile so big it shows, in your eyes, or give her a heart one day with your hands, and then just send her a note, an email, e-gift card or something. And so we have that going on for her. And then for Crossing Guard Appreciation, we'll have a post on our social media for that.
Yay, perfect. Yes, the whole counselor appreciation, that was my bad. That's what I get for following a national publication, and apparently they had their own dates. I don't know. So yeah, just found out yesterday from Sweet Holly at the front desk that we had the wrong dates. So yes, so it's no longer Counselor Appreciation Week. It is, as Marco said, Miss Simpson Bell, We Love You Week. So again, on the website, if you can see, I'm sharing my screen. This is all the cute stuff that Marco came up with so that we can appreciate Miss Simpson Bell for all of her awesome work this next week. So there you have it. Okay, let's see. Next, we have our multicultural virtual night. And let's see, is Ananya, are you on here? Not sure. I didn't. Oh, you know what? But let me check. Make sure that there's not people in the waiting room. I do not think so. Okay, she is our Miss Bhattacharya is our multicultural night chair for this spring. And normally this would be an event that we do in person, but obviously not able to this year. So it is going to be a virtual event. It's going to happen on the evening of March the 26th. A sign up genius will be going out. You can sign up to represent your country or your state. And what she is asking for, and this again, all this information will be sent out. What she's asking for is if your child is in a cultural dance program or something of that nature, you can do a 4-minute video clip of your child's dance group, or if they're in some type of a martial arts group or something of that nature. Basically just doing a video that we will put on our website. I think she was discussing how to put this together, and Lauren came up with a great idea of possibly doing web pages and maybe like a cute little passport so that oh, wait, she's here right now. Hi, Ananya. I think she just popped in. Anyway, so that the kids can kind of walk through each of the countries and have a chance to visit different places. And we will get more information out about that as we go along. Ananya, did you want to say something?
Hey Andrea, no, sorry, I was having some technical difficulties, so just managed to join now. But if you guys have any question for me, just let me know.
I have a question.
Sure.
I was just wondering, we have the videos, and Andrea mentioned maybe another way of, participating another way if we don't want to send in a video. Like, is there something we can do?
We can still do for the students that are coming face to face, dressing up, and we can still do an in-school parade, at least for that. What we did for the parade when we had book character day was that we allowed outside online learners to take a picture and submit it, and we can put it into like a slideshow to be able to show here at school so students can participate. Is that what you were thinking, Marco, or were you thinking of something else?
No, just with Andrea mentioning like the website, like it would be nice if that was happening, just because I'm typically the only one who does something for Japan, and I have no dancing or showcasing abilities. But if there's something I could do to submit pictures or information, I would love to do that. It was all.
Got it.
Yeah, I think we are. You're welcome to send us pictures. I think what we decided on, Andrea, correct me if I'm wrong, is we decided we'll put pictures on the web pages, right? We'll create web pages for different countries, and we'll put pictures and anything related to that country, including the video. So whatever you want to send it to us, and then I'll discuss with the PTO group and Mrs. Cargbo, and then we can just go ahead with all that. So whatever you want to send, just send it.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you.
We can make sure we update the Sign Up Genius and our descriptions that are going on social media so people know that if they don't have to just send in a video, that they have other options. That might be good.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, let me just include it there. So pictures or anything else? What was it? Do you recommend? What else do you recommend?
I would say, like, if you almost like for those who went to the face-to-face multicultural nights in the past, a lot of people made almost like the stand-up poster boards that had, like a picture of the flag, what language is spoken in that country, maybe a favorite recipe or something of that nature. Maybe send in things of that nature. So again, yeah, it doesn't have to just be a video. Although I would love to see you dance, Marco, because you're very talented. So I'm sure you probably also dance.
No one needs to see that.
Can it be samples of others dancing?
Yeah,
Like
sure.
a cultural dance from, some you just find on YouTube?
Oh, I think we were trying to limit those actually dancing to kids that either attend Walker Station
Okay.
or their parent, just to make it more personable. Like, oh, hey, that kid's in my class. That's super cool, kind of thing. So, but yeah, definitely, for sure, the flag, the language that's spoken. Maybe
I love the recipe idea. I would highlight that one. That'd be awesome. Something easy that we could all try to mimic.
Yeah, especially since in the past we always were able to bring food in from the different countries, and it was fabulous. So I'm gonna miss that part the most, just to be honest. So yeah, recipes and things of that nature, I think would be great. So yeah, awesome idea. Thanks, Marco, for speaking up.
Yeah, thanks. And I'm going to add these to the Sign Up Genius. That way people know they can send, different kinds of stuff, including. But yeah, we do welcome videos as well, because we want to make maybe minimum 1 hour of entertainment program. So 45 minutes to 1 hour. So yeah, any dancing or singing or instruments, playing instruments or anything would be great too.
Well, Marika, my daughter is obsessed with all things Japanese. I don't know where it came from, but it happened a couple of years ago. So maybe she can learn the dance and dance it for you.
That would be awesome.
Her specialty is the guratama, the lazy egg from Japan. So
I love that. That's awesome.
And as I'm like trying to think about the best way to get this, I think maybe we can create a Google form that would have spaces to fill in a recipe, pictures, a flag, those kinds of things, just to make it a little bit more uniform. And then you could add additional stuff if you wanted to, but to at least give people a starting point. So I can work on that after the meeting today.
Oh, awesome. Thanks, Lauren. Let me know if you need anything. I can help, with anything you need.
Definitely will.
Perfect. Thank y'all. What great ideas. I'm super excited. This is going to be a great multicultural night. All right, we're going to move on to fundraising. Sarah Braun is our fundraising chair. She also could not join us today, but I will mention, and again, it's going to be coming out through social media. We will be having our box tops collection drive. It'll be starting this next week, so the 8th through the 19th. Sarah will have a box placed on her front porch, and she lives right over close to Walker Station. So her address will be available. Again, that'll be on our website. If you have actual box tops that you need to drop off, you can do that at Sarah's house. And let me tell you, box tops, they do help. We just got a check today for $142 some odd from box tops. So every little bit helps, to further our PTO cause. Spring fundraiser, that's going to be coming up in April. It'll be April 1st through the 18th, and that will be a cash drive. So stay tuned for more details on that. And again, Amazon Smile, Shutterfly, box tops, all ways that you can earn money for our school. And again, we appreciate all of that help. Okay, moving on. Next is PTO positions. So we have formed our nominations committee, and we will be, I say we, it's Lauren. Lauren Blanks does everything. So Lauren will be sending out our nominations form, and you can nominate yourself, nominate a friend. We love new faces and new ideas in the PTO. And so that's going to be going out. It'll also list some of the positions that will be open. And so, yeah, we would really appreciate y'all checking that out and hopefully throwing your hat into the ring for one of our positions that are coming available. Okie doke. And announcements, don't forget, next Friday is a half day. Yay! The following Monday, the 15th, is a day off. No school. Yay! Planners, have student planners if anybody wants a planner, and also have some WSC logo merchandise. Again, all that can be purchased on the PTO website. And again, any and all information, for sure, check out this amazing website that Miss Lauren Blanks has created. It has everything on here that you could ever want or need to know. Back to the nominations, you can learn about the open positions, and the nominations form is already live on the website. And we will be collecting nominations, and then the vote for the new board members and committee leads will occur in May. So again, more information about that will be forthcoming as we get further on into the year. All right, so does anybody have questions for me or any of our PTO about any of the information that we've just covered? If not, oh, yes.
I have a question. I'm not sure if it's
Yes,
for
sir.
you or Principal Cardwell, but as we're talking, actually, Sarah's husband came up with this awesome idea. Ryan, he comes up with most of our awesome ideas. The basketball nets. I know in the past we've replaced those often. Do we have authority to move forward with coming up with new chains, putting them up, maybe decorating the boards, stuff like that, depending on how much money we can gather?
Yeah, so at one point, that became under the jurisdiction of the district. And as such, it became under state funded. So they were replacing them, X number of times and all of that. Right now, I think they're not replacing them because technically they're not supposed to be open, but we're just not taking them down because we serve the community. So if people choose to come there on their time, then I have no problem with that. So I have no problem with y'all doing that. I don't think it would be a problem, but if there's a chain up, there might get, if it gets on the rotation to get replaced, it might get replaced at some point. That makes sense.
Say that part again, you cut out.
So if y'all put up chains or nets, it might get on the maintenance rotation list to get replaced at some point. So I would just hate if y'all put up new ones and then they come to replace them because they don't make a judgment of, oh, these look pretty good. It's just on their list to replace, so they replace it. That's the only caution I would say. But like the backboards to do the square, I don't know, I'm sure it's called something. Go for it.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, we'll make a project of it. Maybe get some kids involved. We'll replace it as a new territory committee, not necessarily as a PTO then.
That works.
Okay, thank you.
That's awesome. We love our Dad's Club. Y'all are just amazing. Yay. Okay, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Principal Cardbow for her amazing question and answer time.
So just before questions, and I don't know if everybody's, you want to stop sharing so I can see people? I hate talking to an agenda. So about Miss Simpson-Bell's week, it's really her month because she does Stallions Have Heart with our kids, and she is doing so much planning and spreading of kindness. with our students. And so that is great to keep recognizing her. And her birthday is also this month. And so we kind of joke that this is like her whole month. So y'all celebrating Miss Simpson Bell next week. We'll close that between the first week and her birthday. So I think that's pretty nice for her because she does a lot for the campus, and she does a lot for our staff to help keep everybody together. So yesterday I sent out a long email that touched base on where we are now with the things that are coming up. So we just found out that the new window is open now for term 4 decisions. It only gets filled out if people want to change their learning model. If you're online and you're staying online, you do nothing. If you're face-to-face and you're staying face-to-face, you do nothing. And so once we know how much movement we have, then we can start planning for how we're going to address it. The other big thing on there was TEA's recapture guidelines. And it basically says if a student's online and they're not successful, either they're not engaging or they're just, MIA or just missing from it, then we can not offer the online version for them anymore and have them come back face-to-face. Now, there are some appeal processes and medical exemptions and some other things that would protect kids that need that protection. We have no plans of just making a decision like a judge and forcing some kid back. We're going to work with parents on this. So if things are missing or if attendance isn't stellar, we have been and we'll continue to work with the parent to solve the problem before we say, okay, it's just not working, we really need them back. So that's the other thing that came up on there. And the rest, I feel like we're just reminders, unless there's something I am forgetting. So that's really where we are. I'm sure a big question right now is, are we going to pivot? And we are not in a situation where we would need our whole school to pivot to be online. Right now, our absences are able to be covered either with substitutes or within the campus. Like I'll pull somebody off of their real job and have them cover in a class so that we can keep having kids coming back to school. So some of the factors that affected schools that had to make a pivot, for example, if a teacher was positive or, if a teacher was positive and exposed their whole team or exposed a group of teachers and then you had like 20 teachers out, that's the kind of situations that are pushing these pivots. And also transportation right now has a lot of quarantine staff members because of the fact that they serve so many kids. And we do not depend on transportation the same way as other campuses. We only have a handful of buses that come. And so we're in a little bit better situation in regards to the buses. So that's kind of some of the things that I've been hearing have been pushing people over the edge to have to pivot. But that is not my plan. That will never be my plan unless it gets to the point where we just can't safely serve the kids that are coming face to face. Then we would have to do that. But we're a far way away from that right now. What questions do y'all have?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
You probably won't be able to answer it, but if this last quarter, if lots of people ask to go back face to face, what happens if there's not enough room? Do they get sent to another campus or?
So right now, I am anticipating room. We have the physical space in the building for classes because we have so many online teachers that we can manipulate our rooms, and we have some staff that are working from home. So that opens up some rooms. So I'm not concerned about the physical space. What we'll do is manipulate the teaching assignments. So if we have to pull somebody back face to face that is teaching online, then we'll have to put the remainder of their online students in another class. And when we did that in one grade last time, I know second grade, we pulled a teacher face-to-face. Some of the online students hadn't requested to come face-to-face until their beloved teacher did. And if they asked to change after that point, if we had room to accommodate them, then we were able to do that. So we really do try to work with people to make sure that based on the decision, based on the criteria you're using to make the decisions, that everybody's covered. The face-to-face cross entity, which is what you're talking about, coming back to school face-to-face, but being sent to another school, is the last case scenario. And we have not had to do that. We were very close to having to do that for a new enrollee, like new kids from outside of the district are coming and moving to new territory and enrolling at Walker Station. If we don't have a spot for them, then that's kind of the plan. And they can choose to either stay online and stay with Walker Station or go to that other campus. So far, we've been able to work with Cornerstone for anything that we need. So it's really close by too, but it's not, we haven't actually had to send any kids yet. So that is a backup. It's probably the least probable thing. What happens is if people don't enter their change request before next Thursday, and then a bunch of people want to change or get on the wait list and I can't accommodate them, then it puts us in a stickier situation. If everybody puts in their request and it stops and we have time to plan for those requests, we'll be able to handle it and plan it. It's the switching after, and sometimes switches are convenient for us because it balances us in a good way. And sometimes it's like the tipping point that would have made us pull in another teacher. And it just depends. We never know until we get the data in. Now that this is our third time to do it, we've kind of got a routine down. So next Friday will be the day that I really figure out if we need to pull teachers or not.
Yeah, that's super helpful. Thank you.
Okay. And just to also let y'all know, our grade levels that are maxed out in face-to-face, like they cannot take one more student right now, is 3rd and 4th. So if we need more 3rd and 4th graders to come back, then we would have to pull another face-to-face teacher.
Okay, that's really good to know because I have a 4th grader. So
yeah, and so
we will be staying online then.
Well, okay, and I mean, I'll just be honest with our numbers. All of our face-to-face are at 20. And so that is, we can't go over that and keep them 6 feet away in class. If we had bigger rooms, we could, but we just don't. Our other grade levels have a little bit more wiggle room. 5th grade is getting close to that 20, but I think right now they're all at 18 or 19. And 1st grade is probably in the best shape, but they're getting really full online. In 1st grade, we had more people say they were coming back face-to-face and then flip back to online. So our 1st grade online classes are at 29, but our face-to-face classes are like at 15 or 16. So we have more, some more space where we can't take any more online in 1st grade. We would have to pull another teacher online. So every grade level is in their unique situation. And it also is just unique for where the numbers fell originally, and even just with our staffing. Last term in 5th grade, we were able to add a 7th class, and Miss Maza took over that class. Miss Maza is a long-term substitute, but now she's been with us since October, and she's in for the long haul. She says she's ready to finish the year. So we'll have that consistency, for the kids, which is what we're hoping for. So that's where we are. It's a good thing I like puzzles. I don't have to play Sudoku anymore because I get to just do it at work. What other questions do y'all have? I know there's a lot of unknowns. Go ahead, Kathleen.
Hi. I'm very curious about something that you said. It's very interesting to me. You said, and I'm feel like this probably isn't happening at Walker Station, but just district wide, what scenario would teachers, why would they need to be, you know what I mean? Like they're supposed to be separating from each other, just like the kids.
Yeah,
So I remember in a previous call, you said something about like y'all do Zoom meetings.
we do.
And
So
so I'm trying to think of a scenario where teachers would need to be that close contact together.
So there's no scenario that they would need to be in that close contact, but there are scenarios where they're little magnets and they're good friends and they
Yeah.
cling together, or they ride in a car to go pick something up together. And I'm very adamant, like every time in January, we had those 2 professional learning days. And right before lunchtime, I would make an announcement, please don't go out to lunch with your team. Because they're able, like in a typical habit of a professional learning day, the teams go have lunch together. We're like a family. So there's a lot of gathering. And so it's hard to tell them, don't go hug your best friend when they're, upset about something, or don't go to lunch with each other, or, that kind of thing. So we were very good at Walker Station about maintaining that. Even in small group meetings like ARD meetings or team meetings, we are still meeting virtually. Even when I meet with Mr. Granger, Miss Simpson Bell, and Miss Day, we meet every Monday. There's just 4 of us. There's plenty of room to socially distance in my office with the 4 of us. Usually we just sit at my round table, but all year we've still been meeting virtually. And we're just trying to set the example that even though we work very closely together and we see each other so much, we can work through a computer. And so we're trying to model that. And it's just, it's hard to keep people away when they're so close. So our structure is in place for that.
Yeah.
But my son quarantined in December, and his whole team, the whole grade level quarantine. They were celebrating a birthday and they had cake. And then it became this whole thing, like no birthdays, no fun, no and just to kind of be like, yeah, we can't do this. We can't do our things that we normally did. And it's hard. It's just like when you see family over Christmas, or those of you that it's hard not to just fall into your regular routine of interaction, especially when you've worked together for 15 years or 20 years and you're really good friends. And so I feel like the old school monitor of a school dance where I'm like, y'all are a little too close, like just make sure that everybody's separate. But that's kind of part of the job now. And there were some schools that were meeting as a faculty. And it might have been in the cafeteria or in the library where you could spread out, because there is an option in the district that you can meet in person if you so choose. And I just don't choose to do that.
Well, I just want to add, I applaud you. And again, I want to convey this article to you and to everyone on this call because it's really fascinating. There was an article in the New York Times today about how the Seattle Seahawks football team, even if you don't like football, they managed to not get a COVID case, in part because they're taking these extra steps and they're sharing how important it is. Anyways, it's a really good article. And just, teachers across the district are role models. And so even though I'm glad it's not happening at Walker Station, I feel like we're all in this together.
Yeah.
So we have to be reminded of things, even though it's unfortunate we can't do things the way we used to.
Yeah.
Hopefully
it
one day.
really is tough for them. And, like I've hugged a crying staff member and then been like, go get the Lysol and let me Lysol, but it's tough. It's a tough time. And when you're in space with each other, you naturally want to group and be together. And so it's a challenge. But we are sticking to it and trying to make sure that we are making those good decisions. And that's been our stance from the beginning, that even like no matter what you believe in and no matter what your views are, this is our, like, we are called to be the example and to teach them to be respectful, like teach the students to be be kind and respectful by protecting your germs from other people and protecting their germs from you. And it's part of just like how we show kindness right now and respect for each other. So we're really trying to get that message across.
Great.
Hopefully it stays that way. Like, we're over halfway through the year. I'm hoping that we can keep that going. What other questions do y'all have? I know there's a lot going on. Thanks for putting that in the chat. There's a lot going on social media, like the Fort Bend concerns and calendar questions for next year and just a lot of different things. I mean, the floor is open if y'all have questions.
One concern I'm seeing quite a bit of controversy over is STAR test this year.
Oh yeah.
If it is administered and a certain percentage of the students don't take it, does that have an impact on Walker Station, or what impact would that have? What are your thoughts on that?
So I don't think it'll have a negative impact if people decide to not come in for safety reasons. And so it's actually on my list of things to do. I was going to record a video for the parents to kind of give my 2 cents on STAR testing and how we approach it at Walker Station. So, and I think I've said it in a PTO meeting before, but STAR testing to me is a great piece of data. I'm a data nerd and I like to see where we are so that we can shape our instruction. It absolutely should not be about a student's score and like praising them for doing well or punishing them for doing poorly. It should just be about growth. So I would love if all of our students took it, just so I know where they are. I don't care if all of them fail. I mean, I want to be teaching them, so don't take that out of context. But I mean, it really, if that's where we are this year, then that's where we are this year. And the more data we have, help us know where we need to go and what gaps we need to close. And without that, we don't know, because I'm not 100% sure that kids are doing everything independently at home. I don't know how much their parents or brothers or sisters are helping them, and that's okay. We're surviving a pandemic right now. But I would like to know like what we can do to help and what we need to teach differently or better or anything like that. And so when we get test scores, then we really want to see trends. I'm looking for trends. I'm not looking for individual, who gets a gold star and who gets it's nothing like that. And also, we want to be able to see that one of the reasons I think it's really important this year is to be able to see the difference between online learners and face-to-face learners, because our government officials are going to have to make a really big decision on, is this online schooling going to continue? Is it equitable? Is it giving our students what they need? Is it comparable to what our face-to-face kids are doing? And right now, we don't have any proof to make that decision with. And so if there's a group of people that are adamant about we need to get all the kids back face-to-face, then we need data to show that we need to. If there's a group of people that are adamant about we need to offer this virtual learning for longer, then we need to be able to show that kids are successful there. And so it really, to me, and I know I might be a lone ranger here, but to me, it's really important so that we can make the best decisions for kids in the future. And I'm not just talking about our kids that we have this year, but like the next generation of kindergartners coming in. Are we going to allow them and offer a public education way for them to be virtual learners from kindergarten through 12th grade? And is that appropriate? And, I mean, we need this information to make those decisions. And I know I just went off on a research tangent, and I'm sorry, but I'm all about like research-based decisions and using what people have done and what have proven to work to make sure that we are doing the best things for kids. And I don't want to promote or force a lot of people back face-to-face that aren't comfortable if there's no reason to. If they're learning and it's meeting their needs of what we're expected to teach them and they can master it and it's their family choice, then it should be their choice. But if we're not, then either we need to change our instructional model for online, or we need to try something different. And it might be a hybrid. It might be like every 2 years, they have to have a year face-to-face so that it's not 100% one way or another. I don't know what it'll be, but we won't be able to make an educated decision on how to educate our kids if we don't know if it's working or not. And I know the STAR test isn't the end all in whether it's working. We're also measuring reading level, and their reading level is more telling to me than any standardized test. So we are tracking that. We meet every grading period. We've done this the whole time that I've been here, and really have been tracking our kids from last March. We met on every kid in May that was struggling or wasn't growing to see where they were. And we continue to offer that intervention and support to close the gap as soon as the school year started. But to me, like the intervention and the reading level might be even more appropriate measure than STAR, but we need multiple pieces of data from different approaches. So the reading approach, the standardized test approach, their grades in class. We need to look at all of that together to figure out, is it working or is it not? And so that's my 2 cents on it. Logistics wise, the students that are online will be able to take the STAR on an online version, but here at school. So they would be able to take it. It's not where we're going to have to get everybody to test on the same day. There'll be like a 2-week or 3-week window. If you're familiar with TELPAS for our English language learners, that's how it works. And we'll have a schedule where kids can come at different times to take the test, just so that we can try to capture as many kids as we can. So I don't know if it was like a should we even test or not, or if it's a more of a logistics question, but we're going to try to figure out both of them. Now, at the same time, if a family decides, you know, we are not comfortable sending them, that's fine too. We're just going to have to figure out how to make sure that they're getting what they need, and looking at trends could help that. So I'm like excited. I'm such a nerd with numbers and stuff, but I'm excited to compare our face-to-face trends versus our online trends to see what's aligned and what's different, to really see what we need to do and how we need to make adjustments in the future. I know that was a long, like, this is my soapbox. So I don't know if I answered your question.
You did, and you know, it's good to know your opinion that the data is valuable, because there are a lot of facets to the question and people have differing opinions about that even. So, and I'm a charts and graphs kind of girl myself. So it's good to know you're taking data sources from different places. And, you know, mine is face-to-face now, but I can see the parent's point of view where if I had kept her home all this time, I would potentially not be comfortable sending her in for that. So, you know, something to consider as well. But it sounds like all the bases will be covered.
Yeah, and we're not doing any practice testing. So we're not doing like a day where we're not going to have regular instruction and just test for 4 hours. What we are going to do, because our young ones have not, all of 3rd and 4th grade have never taken the STAR before because they didn't have it last year in 3rd grade. So what they will do, we're calling it kind of like a dress rehearsal. So kind of like, okay, this is where you would come in and this is how you would sit and this is what the directions sound like. To just help familiarize them like with the process of it. And the funny thing is, I think the biggest problem will be, y'all, when kids wear masks at school, it is so hard to tell who's talking. And it's not that they would be talking to cheat. I mean, our kids don't do that on a day-to-day basis, but just this like humming or making noises, it is like you walk into a classroom and you're like, who is that? Like, you can't even tell. So it's just, those kinds of logistics will be different for teachers monitoring it and for the students, but we'll figure it out. So we're not doing a shutdown testing. We're not doing a bunch of like benchmark testing along the way to practice all the, multiple choice. They're doing a question or two along the way to make sure that they're familiar with the style of the test. But we're not teaching for the test. We're teaching to build readers, to build independent learners and problem solvers. And that's it. That's the goal. So if we're not on the scope and sequence that we're supposed to be right now, that's okay. It was a different year, but we're growing the individual. And that's, the STAR data will be great. I think that all data is good or bad, depending on what you do with it. So if people get the STAR data in order to, rate teachers or evaluate or, make referrals for different programs, that's bad. If they use data to shape instruction and solve problems, that's good. So it just depends on, where we're going with it. Now I need to rewatch this and say it all in the video that I record for the parents so that everybody can have it.
Thank you for addressing that.
Yeah.
There you go. Andrea has it ready for you now.
You'll be able to find that on our PTO website via our
I linked it to my letter yesterday.
So for virtual students with STAR Test, is it online, or when they go face to face, they'll be able to do it paper copy and everything?
Yeah, so the online and face-to-face is what we're still figuring out. This year, the STAR test is available to all students on either format. By 2023, which is in 2 more years, the STAR test will be given to all students on the online version, unless an accommodation is made to have the paper version. So we kind of saw this coming. SATs online. I took the GRE online. Testing is kind of moving to online, and I think it's probably appropriate for the kids to learn that. So we're kind of at where we could do either way. If they take the paper test, they will have to take it on the test day. So it's like May 11th or 12th. I don't know off the top of my head, but if they want to take the paper test and they come in for the paper test, they have to come in on that day that the test is happening. The online STAR test is what has the window that they could take multiple times. The reasoning behind that is purely logistical. Every paper test packet is a secure document that has to be mailed back to TEA a certain way in a certain order. The answer document has to match the test booklet and the name and the group, and there's all these things that have to be perfect about it. The online test gets submitted immediately and can get scored immediately, whereas the Scantrons that we turn in then have to go through the machine, and then there's a cover sheet on each to attach it to a report that's online, whereas the online, it's easier to grade it and attach it to the right class or the school without having to physically send it in to TEA. And unless you've been here to deal with testing materials, I don't think you'll ever realize how tedious it is. And so that's why the online testing window is longer than the paper window. So what we think is going to happen is, because we haven't really been trained yet, because TEA hasn't decided some things, but what happens once we get trained, we might give an option to whoever's still online to say, hey, here are your 3 options. You can either not take it at all, you can come anytime in this window and take it online, or you can come on this day and test on this day. The other logistical problem with everybody testing at the same time is that they've moved the 5th grade STAR test to May. So they're not taking it in April anymore because it's not something that would keep them from going to 6th grade. There's no penalty for failing for anyone. And so we're going to have third, fourth, and fifth all testing at the same time for 2 days in a row. And this means that all of the staff for those classrooms need to be used as test administrators. Then we have additional small groups and people that need oral administration and people that need frequent breaks or extended time, like all of the different accommodations for all of the different students. So the less students we have taking it on paper, the easier it is logistically, but it might not be appropriate for everyone. The more students we have online, the more flexibility we have to roll kids in and out as they're done and just manage it. So we're kind of figuring that out too. And if all the kids, one of the little lines in TEA's guidelines for testing is that basically whatever accommodations are happening in the classroom, whatever they're doing in the classroom is how they should test. So routinely and regularly used is kind of the term. So if they're already taking all their tests online through Schoology or whatever, then that's how we should test them. Because if we switch it up on them, then it might interfere with the validity of the assessment. And that's the guidance. It doesn't mean that we can't have a student that's online taken on paper. We just have to plan for it. I don't know if that answers your question.
No, absolutely. I was just thinking, I didn't really know what would be best or if we even had the option, but it sounds like kind of a nightmare logistically. So I
Well,
won't try to make your life
honestly,
miserable.
STAR is always a nightmare logistically. I was in my former role as an assistant principal in Pearland, I was also the testing coordinator for 5 years at a junior high where we did end of course algebra exams and STAR testing for 4 subject areas in 8th grade and 3 in 7th. So I'm very familiar and comfortable with it, and happy that I have a CCC that is really good at it too. So it's always a tedious logistical nightmare. It will get easier moving everybody to online. And that's really, these kids are not going to be taking paper tests. I mean, when they're in high school and college, it's just not in their future the way it was for us. So the sooner we can acclimate them to the online version, the better. And I think if it's not going to be an option in 2023, then I would rather start, like I have a 3rd grader. It's his first time to take STAR. And if they gave me an option, I'd say just give it to him online. If he bombs it, okay, then we'll have to work on taking tests online and the strategies that you use because there's no penalty. And if he does great, all the better. So that's my own view from the inside, what I would do, because this year there's no retention tied to it. There's really no penalty. What other questions do y'all have? Anything else, but maybe that you don't have, but just kind of buzzing around that we might need to address, or do we seem to be like communicating and you know what's going on at Walker Station? Okay. For a while, I was waiting to not have to send a COVID letter before I sent an update. And then that is how I ended up not even sending an update in the month of January. So hopefully that dies down too. All right, well, if anything else comes up, y'all are always welcome to email me or, ask me. Thank you. You know how to use your clapping emoji or your clapping thing. Oh, I'm getting called. All right. So reach out to me if you need anything else, and we'll try to give, I'll try to give an update next week where we are numbers wise, just to let y'all know. And that usually prompts twice as many responses. So I'll continue to try to do that to remind people to fill out the form.
Awesome. Thank you, Principal Cargbo. We were very
I'm
lucky. that
jumping
she-
off to the meeting that they were calling me into. So it's great to see y'all. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. Yeah, we are super lucky to have a principal who is so involved, and she really does. If y'all have questions or anything comes up, she really does pay attention to your emails, and she will contact you or call you, regarding those emails. So if you do have a question that you didn't feel comfortable asking on video, shoot her an email. She will love, to have that contact with you. Okay, I'm going to jump back over to the agenda one more time so that we can finish up our meeting. So our next virtual PTO meeting will be March the 12th at noon on Zoom, and that Zoom information will be posted on our PTO website. And all I need right now is a couple people who will motion to adjourn this meeting so that we can get on to our weekends. So do I have 2 motions to adjourn this meeting? Anyone? Yay. Thank you, Dante. And we just need, do we have one more person? Can't see everybody. Yay. Thank you, Marco, for raising your hand. Awesome. Okay. Well, everybody have a fabulous weekend, and hope to see y'all soon.
Thanks, Andrea. You too.
Thanks.
Thanks.